But yeah, so yeah, you don't have to mute yourself, but if you ever want to, it's just on the bottom left.
Okay.
I think, Lauren, this is like the first live call you've been able to be on, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to go over because it's March 1st, which is insane. I can't believe it's already March this year. But kind of what my strategy is going in for the month. I feel like I've been doing it long enough now where I kind of have my head around, and we'll see if anything actually happens. But I'm a planner, and feel like I always do better if I know what I'm going to post, even if I don't know what my exact post is, like what the feel of the week is and all that. So I'm kind of nerdy and I mapped it out already on my calendar, but so I will go over that. But are there things that you guys would be helpful to tackle before I get into that, either with 22-minute hardcore or challenge groups or whatever people are commenting to stuff at all? No. Okay. Lydia, Lauren, you guys are good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to do a screen share with you. Here. Okay. Hopefully, okay. You guys should be able to see my screen. Let's see. Okay. So this is my calendar, and I'm going to be showing it in more, but can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect. So I have, and I'm going to add a little bit more while we're talking, but so you can see I have my current challenge group on here that I'm just in whatever. But on the 7th, I'm going to be starting the 22-minute hardcore group. And you guys can add anyone to that if you want to, but I'm going to do this one specifically just for that group, and I'm going to do it as well. So you guys have probably seen me post. I love hammer and chisel so much. I honestly I didn't want to do this program. I told Ben, I was like, I just love hammer and chisel. I want to do that till I die. But I know it's really good to talk about. And when I posted this week my results from hammer and chisel, I had so many people message me about things. And so it was really interesting to watch people who hadn't said a word to me the whole time. But then when I actually completed something, and they could see. So I know that's important to start and finish a program and talk about it the whole time. But then I saw some results from the test group from it, and it was really amazing. I honestly was really skeptical that you could get the results, but everyone who has done it is just raving about it. So I don't know, were any of you guys on the call on Sunday night that Melanie did with the 2 girls who were in the test group?
No.
Okay, well, you can go back to the Dream Team page and look at it. 2 of the girls from the Dream Team were actually in the coach test group for it, which was pretty cool. So, and then on the National Wake Up Call from yesterday, Tony Horton was the guy who was on it, and so he talked about the program. I'm going to be doing that. If you guys want to add people, let me know. So I'll be starting that this week. And this last week, if you follow me on Facebook, you may have seen that I was doing lead up posts of a countdown or throwing it into things here and there. So that is going to be kicking off on the 7th. I've already got a good group of people going there. Then what I'm going to do is, this month is a little funky because you've got spring break in there, you have Easter in there. People are busy. I think the year kind of gets crazy, but in my head, I know that I'm going to really focus on coaching sneak peek this middle week. And I think that if you guys feel like you want to, you can absolutely jump in at any point. You can have coaches sign up with you, either if it's a discount coach or if you have a friend who you think, man, I think they'd be really interested in the business or good in the business, you can invite them to that. But all of my posts really this week and this week, I'm going to be sprinkling things in about coaching. And I'll probably post an actual ad of, I'm doing a coaching sneak peek, and invite people probably on the 14th or the 15th. But I'm going to be talking about it kind of like we've talked about on calls, sprinkling it in here and there of I love coaching because I've gotten to know awesome women, or I love coaching because, when I get paid on Thursday, I can write about, this paid, I'm not making millions of dollars, so I can't post oh, here's our house that we just paid off, but I can say something, this paid for us to go out to dinner, or my grocery bill this month has been covered, or you don't have to post a picture of you with your check, but you can talk about the financial piece if you've made something of what that looks like. A lot of times people have no clue what we do. So that's one thing that I think it's always awkward talk about finances, but it's also something that people are really intrigued with. So if you can find ways of weaving that in, that's helpful. So I just always have this on my calendar so that when I log in and look at it, I'm like, oh, I need to advertise for this. Last month I had taken Caleb to the doctor, and he has had nonstop ear infections. So he's had a lot of doctor's appointments to pay for out of pocket. And so I did a post about how grateful I was just that we didn't know this was going to hit, and that coaching kind of dropped into my lap before all these doctor treatments started, so we didn't have to stress about paying for it. So it really wasn't a post about coaching by any means. It was more about our doctor and my poor 2-year-old, but I sprinkled that in there of just kind of being so grateful that in the midst of so much craziness, this was able to happen. So kind of for you guys kind of thinking a week ahead and mapping out whether that's you actually writing your posts or whatever. And then I'm going to do on that same week, and this is something that if you guys want to add people to, I would love to have you do it. I'm going to do a clean eating group. And so that is going to be completely free. I don't think I have it on here yet. And so I'm going to just run it Sunday to Sunday and have it be just a free clean eating one. I did it last month, and it worked pretty well where people were really interested. And I didn't make them make a coach account or a customer account because I really wanted to stay away from Beachbody for it and genuinely help people, because I think people respond really well to that. So I have a whole script. You guys can run your own if you want to, or if you wanted to team up, we can. But then my goal with that is that it will run basically this whole week. And then at the end of it, I can invite people to my challenge group the next week. And so every single person who's in that group, I will follow up with and say, hey, if you really liked this, we're going to be talking a lot more about this in more depth in our challenge groups and kind of be sharing a little bit more. So it kind of it opens the door for you to invite someone who you already know is really interested in learning how to eat healthier, things like that. So there are scripts that you guys can pull. There's crock pot ones. I did one of those in the fall. That was really popular. I know a girl who did a meal prep one. So if you're someone who does a lot of meal prep, I think that can be cool. So those types of ones are really nice because it doesn't take a lot of extra time to do. And it's a great way to get people just added in and add value. And it also shows that you know what you're talking about, which is nice. So that is also a group that I really liked because I felt like I could just invite tons of people to it because I wasn't actually asking for any commitment on their part. It was genuinely just like, hey, let's talk about food. I know you're busy and like good recipes. So that is what I'm doing there. But it is strategic because it's in the middle of the month. And so I'm hoping that some people who are in that group, fingers crossed, would be interested in buying a challenge pack, and that will help me with my end of the month stuff. So that's kind of my strategy of why I'm putting it there. And then I'll do a challenge group at the end of the month. And this is just going to be completely open to anyone. It's not wrapped around a specific program. So I never really know with these ones if I'll get enough interest. So I have it on my calendar. I'm going to be talking about it, kind of leading up into it again, kind of talking about why I love challenge groups, but we'll see. I've had a couple of you guys ask me, I know Lydia, and a few other people, about challenge groups on the 7th. And I have a whole bunch of people. A lot of them are returning customers who want to be in a new challenge group this month. So I'm going to run another one just on the 7th that's basically like the exact same one I'm doing right now. It's just a general one. So that's just like a shape up for spring group. So that will go for a month. So I'll actually do 3 groups this month. But this one is going to be made up of a couple new people and a lot of returning people who just wanted the continued support.
Is that one gonna be, is that like prep week starts the 7th?
Yeah, exactly. So prep week will be the 7th. Things will kick off on the 14th for that. And one of the reasons that I really love having returners in groups is that they can add value because they're usually excited about the results. I mean, I'm thinking like Lauren, for instance. You've been in so many groups and have been like so encouraging on people's posts because you have gone through it. And I think that I think it's encouraging to new challengers because they see like, oh, someone's been in my shoes. I know what this is. They know what it's like. And it's not just like the coach doing it all the time. But your best coaches according to Melanie, are people who have been in your challenge groups who've had great results, and I've wanted to go on and share that. I had a prime example of this today that I didn't even realize. There is a girl, you guys will see her, I'll add her into our coach page this week, that I had signed up as a discount coach and put her under Ben. And I don't check Ben's account a lot because it's just like, I just use it to put people under that are not like working coaches. Well, she's had like insane results with the 21-day fix, and all her friends are buying challenge packs from her. So she's like at Success Club 8, has no idea what she's doing. She's not actually coaching. I was like, oh gosh, I didn't even know you're doing this. And so that is a really good example of someone who has had good results, has loved the support, and she had signed up as a discount coach and figured out, oh, if friends buy it, I get commission. So that's one of the ways that you can phrase that to people if they're not wanting to actually coach for the business. So I have challengers who are getting awesome results. I'll message them and say like, hey, I don't know if this is something you're interested in, but if you have friends and family that have been asking about what you're doing, did you know that you can just get commission from it if they're already going to buy it anyways? So that's something that's kind of helpful because it helps both of you out. So as you're talking to people, that can be a strategy. I will usually wait until probably the 3rd week of the challenge group to even approach someone about that, and give them chance to actually start seeing results. But if it's a challenger who is posting every day in the group, doing their check-ins, commenting on other people's stuff, and just really, really engaged, then that's someone who's invested in the process, and I want to make sure that they know the opportunities available to them. Does that make sense? So I don't know if you guys, I shared my first version of this in our team page, but I'll update it a little bit. But if this helps just to put visuals on things so that you in your mind then can kind of plan your posts. So what I would do, honestly, if I were you guys, is wanting to start March off really strong, is you have a week before, or honestly like a week and a half really, before a group is going to kick off. And so as you are doing your posts this week, if you sprinkle in things about why you love challenge groups, or if there's a program that you want to highlight, you can do that and then invite them to the specific group. And then, okay, great. Then I have a week. And if I'm not going to talk about coaching at all, you don't have to do that. Talk about meeting. Or then the week later, I'll know I want to start prepping to talk about my next challenge group. And that way you're engaged constantly through the month. But you also feel like you have a plan and you're just not randomly like every day, like, what am I going to talk about? I'll just throw things out here and there. So you can really be strategic in what it is that you're kind of trying to get people to move towards. Does that help? Yeah. I know it can be overwhelming. I've been coaching for like 10 months now, and I really honestly feel like it's been in the last 2 months that I've kind of hit the sweet spot of feeling like it's not a struggle for me to come up with what to post now. Sometimes, but most of the time it's not. And I feel like I have my head around it a little bit more of like what the strategy is and kind of how it works best for what I do and how to stay authentic to who I am. So if you guys are feeling like a little bit like you're just shooting in the dark or treading water, that's really normal, because I think it just takes time to kind of figure out your rhythm and your groove of what you do. So don't feel like you're failing at it. And if you feel like you need the extra support, then use things like my calendar and you can tweak it, but to help guide you so you have some structure of what it is that you're inviting to and how you're kind of planning your month of what you're focusing on. Do you guys have questions on any of this? Not really. Lauren had an awesome post earlier today of clean eating. So if you guys are friends with Lauren, actually, Lauren, can I share it in our team page?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I'll share it in the page tonight of how basically people think it's so expensive to eat healthy, and it's actually saved her money. Do you mind talking about that? Of kind of
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So, before I started doing all of this, my grocery bill was probably at like $180 every single week. And it was just like crazy thinking about how much food my husband and I and my son were going through. And then after starting it, I noticed that it was slowly decreasing, but it wasn't until probably the last like month and a half or so where I really started incorporating like clean eating with like more recipes and stuff. And so as soon as I started figuring out like, oh, okay, like I can take this recipe that I love, but then incorporate clean eating with it, then I really noticed that my grocery bill really went down significantly. So much so that to the point where now weekly I'm at about $80 a week.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
My grocery shopping.
so yeah, I'm down to about that every week. Which
Lauren, that's me. So for you, honestly, and I don't want to like volunteer you to do this for our entire team, but if you want to, you can. But like I would honestly, so you posted that today, and I would keep talking about that. And it doesn't have to be the same post every week.
sure.
But that is like something that, I mean, I'm still like, how do you have $80 a month and eat healthy? That's amazing. Or a week. That's something I think that every mom or person who cooks or does any grocery shopping will relate to and resonate with. I would take what you've done and like say, I'm going to do a free 7-day group kind of sharing some of my favorite things of here's things I've learned. And there's a script in our page. I'll share it. I think it's in there, but I'll double check that it's there tonight. That's a free 7-day clean eating group that you can use as kind of a structure, but you can share and say like, here's a sample week's meal plan for me. And here are the places I grocery shop. And you don't have to give away all your secrets because you want to save some for like drawing people into a challenge group. But I think the fact that you posted that, and then this week, if you were to talk about like, here's my meal plan for the week, or like the recipes that I'm going to cook for dinner this week, and here's where I got them from, and kind of sprinkle that in throughout. And then say, hey, for anyone who's interested, I'm going to run a free group for 7 days that's going to go way more in depth of how we've made this work for our family. I think that would be amazing, and you get probably a lot of interest from that. But what you'll need to do with that is you'll need to talk about it the next couple days, and not like every day is an invite of like, here's my group in 3 days, here's my group in 2 days, but
Right.
here's my groceries that I bought, and then here's my meal plan, and kind of do that. I think that would be amazing and be maybe a really cool way to get some traction for you.
Okay, great. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
But yeah, I mean, you don't have to do it. You don't have to wait till the 13th to do it. You can do it whenever you want. I think for a lot of times, like doing it like 5 to 7 days is helpful because it gives people some time. I think if you start it, what I did last time, and I did it wrong, I started the group and like started posting in it on Sunday and did it for 7 days. I think what I'm going to do next time is I'll open the group up on a Friday, post a couple like shopping list ideas, so like people can have the weekend, because I think that's when most people do grocery shopping, to like dive in, and then like start my actual posts on Sunday. So maybe have it go like Friday to Friday-ish.
Sure.
But yeah, I'll post that in our page. If it's not there, I'll make sure it is. And you can obviously tweak it. It's another coach wrote it and I thought it was good, so I just kind of copied what she had. But I think that's something that really lends credibility to you. And if it's something that you wouldn't mind, like if you're running it, then the other girls on the team, if they want to add people in, like help chip in on what you're posting, you can do that too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I like running and sharing groups with people because it gives more energy if there's more people involved. Because if I only have like 3 people, then it's kind of dead. But if there's like 7 people, that helps the energy a little bit too. So yeah, I think that would be really, really cool. And you can even talk about how that incorporates like taking it a step further in some of your posts, like because you're doing Shalene and that has a meal plan that I'm assuming you're following.
I'm more so following I'm like incorporating her like calorie, like what that involves, but I'm actually using a 21-day fix as like the actual base of it.
Okay. Yeah. So talking about that, and I'm going to stop sharing because I don't think you guys just need to stare at my calendar anymore. Talking about that of like even how because you will do like a workout post every now and then, but people may not realize what that actually looks like. So like I've done a picture where I held the containers and was like, here's what it actually breaks down as. Or talking about how like your workouts, but nutrition, like you were sick, but you were able to stay on track because you were eating right. So kind of weaving that in of why it's important to eat healthy, not just how to eat healthy. And then that can even be a draw, because if you're starting to throw in how much you love the nutrition from the program and how it's made it simple for meal planning, things like that, then as you're talking to people about buying the 21 Day Fix, that again, they're like, they have a better sense of what it's about. So
Sure.
I think that really helps kind of give you that credibility piece, but then not feel like you're selling the whole time, because you're not selling, you're genuinely sharing how you fit healthy living into your life, and what that looks like. So I try to really have in my mind, I'm going to share 80% of the time or 90% of the time, and then I'll sell on my page 10% or 20%. So I will post ads like, here's the special, or, 21 Day Fix is ending in 2 days, who wants in? But most of the time my posts are going to be just more sharing, I had a hard time getting up this morning, but I did it anyways. Or here's my recipe for the week of whatever it was that I liked, or things like that. So that, I think, gives you that you're not like a slick salesperson. You're just more sharing your life and what works for you, and sharing how enthusiastic you are about it and why you love it so much. And that gets people attracted to you as well. But you have to be consistent with it. Otherwise, people just don't see what you're posting. So.
Right. Yeah.
Ashley and Lydia, do you guys have any thoughts on that at all, or like the programs you're doing? I know, Lydia, you're pregnant, so that's a little different, but
Just a little bit. Yeah, I haven't worked out in like 3 weeks. Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of hard because I was in the middle of doing PIO, and I was like posting about it, and I'm not really sure how to go about, like, because I don't want to, we're not really telling a whole lot of people right away right now. So I'm just like,
I wouldn't worry about that piece as much. I think that when you announce that you're pregnant, people will be like, oh, that's why. But you can still talk about nutrition for sure, being a big one, and like how you get Vivian to eat her vegetables. Big one there. Secret mashed potatoes. So I think if you focus more on the nutrition piece, that would be cool. Or you can even talk about programs and how you're excited about them. It doesn't mean you have to do them, but like talk about 22-minute hardcore just came out, how cool it is. Like, you can theoretically do your workout and take a shower and get dressed in a half hour. That's amazing. Or you could talk about on demand and how you tried out whatever workout you wanted to. I do think that once you announce you're pregnant, not to like milk your pregnancy for all it's worth, but you do have a really cool niche where you can talk about how you stayed healthy, either like beating the taco pregnancy cravings, finding healthy ways to fat them. Or, once you do work out, if you're doing like the autumn maternity workouts online or whatever, I think I messaged you, Michaela, but there's a couple coaches that I was following this last year that were pregnant, and it was really cool to see how they posted about it in a really, really healthy way, especially when they got to the end. Like, there was one of the girls, her name's Stephanie Davies. She's actually from Portland. We saw her at Super Saturday.
oh yeah.
Remember I pointed her out? I was like, that's a big coach.
And she was like super pregnant.
Yeah. So she just had her little girl. She actually had her on accident in her kitchen, which is something to me.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah. Like, oh my gosh, never. Yeah. Don't ever want that. But she had some really cool posts that I really loved, because they were really authentic about, honestly, like her struggle with like, I'm so glad my body's giving life. This is also a struggle. She'd had a miscarriage before. And so she talked about how, she wasn't going to worry about the weight gain. She was going to be healthy for her girls, because she has a little girl, but kind of processing through how excited she was to get healthy after she was pregnant. And then after she had the baby, she's been talking the last couple of weeks, because she, I think, did her like first workout today or yesterday. It was pretty recent, but how she was still eating healthy, and how she was doing her portions but adjusting it for nursing, and wasn't going to rush to like fit back into pre-baby clothes, because she wanted to do it the right way. And there have been girls commenting like insane amounts on her stuff of like, I think because it really resonated where she was being honest about like, I want this, but like, it is hard to have gained 35 pounds. Like, I want to feel like myself again, and just sharing her heart, but how to do that in a way that was a good example for her daughter and all that stuff. So I think if you want to post about it, you have a really cool way of sharing that journey.
Yeah. I'm just not sure when we're going to like announce anything, just because we lost the one over the summer. So I'm not sure when.
Yeah. I think you should wait till you're like 9 months pregnant and just wait till people make offers.
Just take pictures from your waist up.
Be like, hey, look at my results, guys.
Wow, the before and after was amazing.
Surprise.
Yeah, no, I think that you could do just the nutrition piece, or talk about other programs, or highlight girls on the team, or whatever.
Mhm.
But I think more for you to consistently and throwing in what you can do. So then when you start posting about it, it's not a weird surprise.
Yeah.
Ashley, how are you feeling with stuff?
Okay.
Okay.
I kind of faded off towards the end of the month. I plan on doing better this month.
You're good. I think if you just go in being like, I'm going to make March awesome, and you just start the month on that note, I am super excited for this month with you guys. I feel like everyone's coming in with a more positive, feel this month, and I think it's going to be really good. So, and I know that I had told you guys this a couple weeks ago, but mid-February, I had 0 people who were interested in anything, nothing. It was crickets. And I was like, I'm just going to keep doing what they say to do. I will keep my posts going. I will keep talking to people. Sometimes on months when it's really, really slow and I just either feel like I don't have a ton of people to invite, that's when I focus on expanding my market. So trying to connect with new people or just messaging people and keeping in touch with them. So there was a girl that was pregnant a couple months ago, and I didn't know she was pregnant when I invited her. And she was like, oh gosh, I'd love to do this. I'm actually 6 weeks pregnant. We haven't told anyone. So yeah, that's fine. But I've just been very intentional to keep posting on her stuff and commenting oh, cute baby shower or whatever. She had her son prematurely he was in the NICU for 2 months. It was crazy. And I just was genuinely concerned about them because I was like, that's insane. So would comment on her stuff all the time, gosh, I'm praying for you guys. How are you doing? She messaged me this morning and was just like, hey, thank you so much. We're home. He's great. I actually keep seeing your fitness posts and I would love to get back in shape now. That's not anyone that I've been inviting for 3 months. I've just been engaged in her life. So one thing that I will do is if there are certain people that I really would love to have join a challenge group, I'll make sure to stay engaged on their posts. And that is part of my power hour for working, where it's not necessarily sending an invite, but it's commenting or liking because it's more for me about a relationship. I still want to be haven't talked to you in 10 years, buy my stuff. So that can be something that you guys focus on too when you feel like things are slow, is just shooting someone a message and being like, hey girl, it's been so long, your picture popped up on my newsfeed tonight, your kiddos are super cute, what are you up to these days? And just leaving it at that, and just striking up a conversation, because when you do that, your stuff will show up in their newsfeed more, but also then you have that open door of communication. So that will be a lot of times what I focus on when I feel like there's nothing going on my business end. But last month, I felt like that probably up through, honestly, the 15th or 16th, there was just 0 anything, and I was getting really stressed. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but it just all changed, and I ended up with 16 Success Club points by the end of February, which was fantastic. I didn't change anything that I did. I just kept being consistent, kept doing that. And so I think it's really easy to get in your own head sometimes, especially if you feel like there's nothing happening, and just be okay, maybe this is a sign I'm not supposed to do this or whatever. And if it's something that you really feel like you want, you just keep doing that. And it doesn't mean that every month you're going to end the month on 16 Success Club points, but I just want to encourage you guys that I get in my own head too, and you wouldn't know that from what I'm posting because I'm going to be all chipper. I love my life. But I think just don't count the month out until it's actually over. But one thing that I am going to do, and I honestly don't know what I'm doing at all, I'll post a couple things in our group about it, but there's a brand new Challenger app. Have you guys heard of this at all?
I think I got wind of it on Melanie's.
Yeah. So I'm going to do the 22-minute hardcore group through this, and I was thinking of maybe doing my other just general group this month through it. So I literally haven't done anything with it yet, so I'll fill you guys in. But it's an app. I know it's on the Team Beachbody one and your coach stuff. And basically what it is it takes the place of, instead of doing your challenge group through a Facebook page, you do it through this app. So you just get people, you invite people to it, and they add it in. And you can apparently upload all your posts in advance, which is nice. People, whatever you post most recently is always at the top. So you can always see exactly, it's in order. And you can just get notifications. There are a couple things that people are not loving about it. I think mainly you get lots of notifications, but one of the biggest reasons that I'm doing it, which I think is going to be awesome, is you don't have to be on Facebook. So I have a really good friend who just bought the 21 Day Fix. She's not on social media at all. And I was just going to email her every day, but I can still add her to this group. So for people who you may know who are interested, but they're not on social media, you can still include them in a challenge group and have it be a really awesome experience for them. So that's something I'm going to try out. So I'll post the info on in our page and let you guys know like what it's doing. The catch with it apparently is that you can't have anyone co-lead with you. You can only have like one actual group leader. Apparently that may be changing, it sounds like, but for now that's what it is. So if you were co-leading a group, you still will probably want to do it through Facebook. But this is just like a separate thing, which is kind of nice. So you don't have to use it, but you can. Do you guys, I know Lydia, you have a person in one of my groups. Does anyone else need people that you know of in a challenge group right now, or are you guys all planning on running your own at this point?
I'm good right now.
Good right now? Okay. If you guys are always more than welcome to add people to mine, but yeah.
So then are we going to do that on the app then, or?
Yeah, I'm going to definitely do the 22-minute hardcore one on the app because I think Tiffany may have a couple people, but I think they're only, unless you guys have people you want added into it, I'm pretty sure there are only 9 people in it, so I just don't have to worry about sharing. And I was debating doing the other group. I may just do it on Facebook like normal because I think like you have someone, there may be a couple other people, we can just throw them all in together.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on responses from a few people, so I'm not sure how many for sure. I know one right now, but.
Do you want to actually lead it, like co-lead it, or do you just want to throw them in my group? And
we could probably co-lead it.
Okay.
Because I told her we were co-leading.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good. Yeah, so I'll just set up the group that way. We can do that.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Is there anything else? We have like 7 minutes left that you guys like would be helpful to cover, like anything, troubleshooting, trips?
I just was curious how everyone else like kind of finds new leads and everything. Like you said, you do the mommies group. Like I'm kind of getting to that point where I'm like, I gotta do something.
Yeah. Lauren and Lydia, do you guys have any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm just kind of like re-inviting people that I told it that wanted me to follow up like later, and so that's kind of I think going to be my game plan in the next few months.
Follow-ups are awesome. The mom group, Ashley, I've seen that you're active in it, which I'm so happy because I'm like, it's just like fun to see what people say, but it's been cool to add people. I think I told you this, I went through all my Facebook friends and looked at our mutual friends, or you know how Facebook will show like friends that you have in common or like people you may know with that person. So it would, if I had more than like 10 or 15 people that 10 or 15 mutual friends. That's what it says on Facebook. So if I had 10 or 15 friends that like were also their friend, I would just add them. Because most of the time I knew them and they were just people from like college or way back when that I hadn't been in touch with. And so I would just go through that way. Instagram, I told you guys I've been trying this like finding with hashtags. So I'm still doing that. We'll see how that goes. But so far the mom group has been great, or there's a couple other ones like that I've been a part of through like different events. If I was invited to like an event sort of thing, or there's like a Newburgh moms group, which is the town that I live in. So I've been trying to be a little more active on that one. But yeah, I think if you start feeling like you're getting outside of your warm market, kind of going back and listening to the team calls, there's a couple really good ones. I can find the link if you want and post it in our page of a girl who did that through Pinterest, which was awesome. Connecting, because you can see on Pinterest, if a person has it linked to their Facebook profile, there'll be that little Facebook icon on it. So I found people that way through, because I have a blog, but you can even go through and like, you know, if you find a pin that you love on Pinterest, like see whose board it's from, follow them if they're on Facebook. If it's like all stuff that you would pin anyways, I would just follow them and be like, hey, and add them if you want to. So, yeah. But yeah, I can would it be helpful if I repost that call, or do you guys want to go back through and find it on your own?
For the Pinterest thing? Or?
Yeah, like kind of getting outside your warm market.
I remember that one. Or she did something about that in Vimify or something.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. So if you go to, do you know where to find all the old Dream Team call files? Yeah, if you just go through that, usually they're titled, which is kind of nice. You can like kind of see, but there's like 2 of them that were within the last year that were on that I like took tons of notes on that were helpful. So I think I started with just the shared like mutual friends, and then kind of expanded out from that to like other people that were in the same boat. Oh, this is a brand new one, guys. I just remember this. Okay, so this is really cool. I just figured this out. You can, on Facebook, type in people who like that phrase, people who like, and then whatever you want to put in there. So like people who like, I think I did people who like Fixer Upper. And then Lydia, you'll appreciate this one. I did people who like Jen Hatmaker. And what's really crazy is it brings up, and I don't know how Facebook does this, but it just brings up literally all the people who like those things. And then there would be, it seemed like the first things that the first people that would be on that list were people that were actually friends with me. And then the second people on that list would be like other people with very similar likes. Like a bunch of them were Beachbody coaches. So I was like, we must have something in common here that they're showing up on my thing. So I didn't add them. But there were a couple people that were like, oh, like they live in the same town as me, or like looking like, I'll just add her, like her profile picture is really cute and we kind of look alike. Like, so that was one thing that I started doing this week, where I literally just went through and typed in a bunch of things, and they were really specific. Like they weren't like people who like the 21 Day Fix. It was like my favorite author, or like people who like certain movies, or Pottery Barn, or, you know, like where it is that you like, kind of thinking about that ideal customer like we've talked about. So like things you like to do, places you like to go, books you like to read, TV shows, all of those things. And then you can just kind of filter, because it seems like Facebook brings up people that have more in common with you first than just some like random person in Tennessee that you don't know. So that would be another maybe one to play with a little bit and kind of see how that goes.
Okay.
And again, those people, when I add them, I don't just instantly send them an invite. I just kind of put them on my list to make sure that when their stuff shows up in my newsfeed, I'm like commenting on their stuff and liking their stuff. And then if they turn out to be weird, I just delete them. It's like, I don't care. So I'll do another one.
Okay.
One thing I know I've talked with you guys about, I actually took a bunch of screenshots and I'll post it in a group page, but just for those of you who may struggle with like the workout piece or what to post if you're running out of time, this entire week, every single post that I've done about working out were pictures that I took last week. I have worked out every day this week, but the mornings for whatever reason have just been insane. And so I literally have a backlog of pictures on my phone of where I've like just set up the self timer, like put it on a chair or whatever after I worked out and like done a quick move and took in a video of it or a picture of it. And I don't post it right away. I just save it. And then on days when it's like crazy, like today, when Caleb wakes up early and I like have to, I laughed at your post because like that was totally me this morning of like toddler running around, not happy, trying to fit in a workout. I just have those saved so I can use it. So if you're wanting to start getting more consistent with trying to share your workouts, and you either feel like I feel awkward every day coming up with something new, or I need time to like get a good post, just take a bunch of pictures and just save them, and then you can share them throughout the week. And I never feel awkward doing that because it's not disingenuous, because I actually have worked out that day and I probably did that workout. I just didn't take a picture of me that moment doing it. So that just has helped me plan ahead, and it kind of gives me an excuse to not post it. So like this morning, I knew I was going to be really busy. I actually posted that video of Ben and I working out. We took it a week ago. I posted it before I got out of bed when I was on my way to work out. And I think our thing is ending, so we're probably going to get cut off. But if you guys have questions, just post them in our page. Does that sound good?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, you guys are the best. I really appreciate it. I hope you have an awesome week.
You too.
Okay, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.